are going to be making a soup. It's getting to be fall here in Milwaukee, kind of a gray day. Good day to make some soup. So we're going to make some asparagus soup today, very simple. First thing we're going to do, we're going to take some onions. We've got about 4 tablespoons of butter. One of the things that I like to do with my soups is not use cream. And the way I do that is I put in a lot more butter. So this is about little over an onion chopped. And you don't have to get big pieces. And you can use big pieces because to get it smooth, we're going to use our immersion blender. So this is going to chew up everything. So all we want to do is get a little sweat going. And as we're getting started, I want to give a few shout outs to some of my fellow bloggers and YouTube chefs. First is my good friend Tom. He's in the UK at tjrmint.com. Tom was one of the first people that I talked to. We talked on Zoom during the pandemic a couple times, and I got some great information from him, some great thoughts. We traded ideas. He's an actual chef. I just play one on YouTube. So check him out at tjrmint.com. And then another one that I want to point out is Jeannie Jones. She has a very successful blog called Jeannie in the Kitchen. Excuse me, A Jeannie in the Kitchen, and that's her address, ajeannieinthekitchen.com. She's out in Colorado. Very prolific blogger, lots of very interesting recipes, and we bonded over the fact that not only do we love to cook and do a blog, but we're both swim coaches, or have been. She's currently one, I'm not. So we have that in common. So I have a couple more shout outs as we move through the recipe here. So next I want to do is show you the asparagus. So we've chopped some asparagus. We have reserved the tips. We're going to use those for garnish at the end. And I want to show you how we clean these. So if you look at these, you can see that the tips are white. That means they're hard, and we don't want them in the soup. So all we're going to do is just cut those off right at the white, and we're going to discard and just chop into about 1-inch pieces. Add that to our mix here. Now this is an easy to make soup. It can come together in under half an hour. The only thing that takes a little bit of time is cooking the asparagus, and asparagus cooks pretty quickly. While I'm plugging everybody else's websites, I want to plug mine. Please subscribe and like our videos here on our YouTube channel. Go to our website, cookingsecretsformen.com, and you may have read on one of our recent posts, we were selected as one of the top 30 men's cooking websites on the internet, which we're very proud of. All right, so the onions are getting a little soft, a little brown here, so they're getting a little caramelized, which is great. We've got about 3 cloves of chopped garlic. Throw that in. I'll let that get a little brown also. All right, now we're going to add in our asparagus, all that we've chopped, except for the reserved part. I'll just stir this around, and this asparagus will cook pretty quickly. So another thing we're going to add to impart some flavor, kind of doing flavor in stages, trying to build flavor. This is chopped tarragon. I'm going to throw that in out of the garden. And of course, as always, salt and pepper. Incorporate everything. You can already smell the asparagus starting to sweat a little bit, the onions and the garlic, adding a little flavor. So all this is going to be cut down when we use our immersion blender. Okay. So we're going to let this go for about 8 to 10 minutes. Let that soften a lot. And I have one more shout out to get to right now. That's my good friend Rosina, who's in Scotland by way of Iran. Her website is Rosina's Persian Kitchen on WordPress. She's also got an outstanding YouTube channel. She does radio in Scotland, and she's just very talented, and again, one of my good friends on the internet, and we've had a good time collaborating together. So our asparagus is starting to get nice and soft, and all we're doing here is building flavors. So as a tip for all you home chefs, build flavor, just don't throw everything in the pot at the same time. All right, so we have some chicken broth, 4 cups, gonna pour that in. You can use vegetable stock, obviously, make it vegetarian. I just happen to have chicken stock in the pantry, so We're using chicken. We're going to bring this to a boil, and once it comes to a boil, we're going to let it simmer for about 10 minutes. I'm going to put the top on. All right, it started to boil, so we're going to turn down to simmer. Leave the top on, and let this go, 8-10 minutes or so, and then we'll use our immersion blender to finish the soup. All right, our soup has been simmering for about 7-8 minutes. I got one more shout out for my friend Engulator Charamba. She's in South Africa by way of Zimbabwe. She's someone I've done a keto pork chop recreation with, one of her recipes. She's a big keto person. You can check out her website. I'll have to spell it. It's chihuz.wordpress.com. So please check out the shout outs we've given out. Good people, good friends. So we're going to use our immersion blender. And as I've pointed out many times using immersion blenders, point it away from you, especially when it's hot. And this is hot. So we're going to turn off the heat. I need that right now. We're going to turn on our blender. I'm going to use a spoon, see if there's any big hunks in there. Hopefully not. No, looks like we're good. Alright, so the immersion blender did its job. So, you have a choice here. You can put in cream if you want. You put in Greek yogurt, or you can leave it as is. Maybe add a little more butter. So to serve, very simply, we're just going to take a ladleful of the asparagus soup. Looks pretty creamy to me. That's the immersion blender doing its job. Alright. We're going to add in a couple of asparagus spears on top. And a little bit of chopped tarragon. And there you have it. Asparagus soup ready in less than a half an hour. If you want it to be a lot creamier, please add cream. I'm not sure that it really needs it, but to each their own. So I appreciate you taking the time today. Appreciate you if you would check out the shout outs, websites of the friends that I've mentioned today. And as always, thanks for watching.